What's up? Eric B. Preston here, and in this video, I'm going to break down exactly everything you need to know about how the Facebook algorithm works in 2021. I'm going to talk about 3 hacks you can use to get the most out of the algorithm and get your content even more exposure. And as a bonus, I'm even going to talk about how the Facebook algorithm pertains to paid Facebook ads, which you should be running if you haven't already. So stay tuned. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notified as soon as I drop new content exactly like this. If you're a real estate agent and you want my Facebook listing ad template, where I'm going to show you my exact formula so how you can perfectly promote a listing on Facebook, which I think is one of the best uses of Facebook for a real estate agent, drop a comment below and I will send you a link to that so you can make sure you're promoting your listings correctly. Now, let's get into this video. First, I want to explain how the Facebook algorithm works at a very high level. So really quickly, how the Facebook algorithm works when we're talking about posting content. So contrary to some people's belief, when you make a post on Facebook, whether it be your Facebook profile or your Facebook business page, 2 separate things, but they work in the same way. On your profile, you have friends. On your business page, you have followers, right? So one's for your business, one's for your personal life. Now, you can make a post on either of those pages. Now, when you make a post, not all of your friends or not all of your followers are going to see that post, right? That's how it worked in the very early days of Facebook, but it does not work like that anymore. What happens is when you make a post and say you have 1,000 friends on Facebook, or say you have 1,000 followers on your business page, and you make a post promoting your business or promoting yourself or just asking a question, what Facebook will do is they'll actually show that to a small number of your friends or followers first. Now, depending on how those friends and followers engage with that post, the algorithm's going to make a decision on whether or not to show that post to another 50 people or not to show it to anyone else at all. Now, this is a little bit of a simplification, I will say, but this is generally how it works. They'll show it to a small number of people, usually your closest friends, the people who follow you the most closely. And depending on how they engage with it, the algorithm's going to make a decision on whether or not to show that with another 50 people or not to show it to anyone else at all, based on the engagement that that post gets. So the likes, the comments, the shares, okay? Now, if people like, comment, and share, Facebook's algorithm is going to say, interesting, this must be a pretty good piece of content because people are engaging with it. So let's show it to another 50 people and see what happens. So they'll show it to another 50 people. And if those 50 people engage, they like, they comment, they share the post, the algorithm's going to say, oh, this must be really interesting stuff. Then they're going to show it to maybe another 100 people, let's say, out of those 1,000 followers that you have. So now you've hit about 200 of your followers, and they're going to see how those people engage with your post. And if they engage really well, they like, comment, and share, then they might show it to another 200 people and see how they engage. And this is how things go viral on the internet, is through Facebook determining that engagement is telling the algorithm that that piece of content is interesting enough to show more and more and more people. So at a really high level, that's essentially how the algorithm works. Because going back to what Facebook actually wants, Facebook wants to put relevant content in front of its users so that they stay on the platform longer. Make sense? So what they're doing is they're using an algorithm, so code, to determine what content is going to be the most interesting to show people, to keep them on the platform longer and keep them engaging with different content. So at a very high level, this is how the algorithm works. This is how the algorithm has worked for years. In the rest of this video, I'm going to talk about what's changed and what you need to know about moving into 2021. But it's really important to understand some fundamentals, which is Facebook's ultimate goal is to keep people on the platform longer, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling to see more and more and more ads, because 99% of Facebook's revenue is advertising. So they want you on the platform, getting interested in whatever content they're putting in front of you so that they can serve you more ads. So it's important to understand that the algorithm favors content that keeps people on the platform. And I'm going to get into more of that in just a minute. So let's get into my 3 hacks that you have to know about the Facebook algorithm for 2021. Okay, so number 1 is start a conversation and do it in a group, okay? Now, Mark Zuckerberg came out and said a little while back that he wants to start prioritizing groups, communities, right, on Facebook. And this is honestly one of the biggest reasons I use Facebook today, for running ads and for promoting or creating conversations in my group. If you're a real estate agent, you can check out my group in the description. It's called Real Estate Marketing Mastery. That's a mastermind group where we talk about all things digital marketing. I run my Facebook Lives in there. I do events. I post a lot of valuable content. And I started this group because Zuckerberg said this. And nothing has been more true. I have 1,500 people in my, 1,800 people in my group now, and we have a ton of engagement on the posts we put in there. I get like 700 views on posts. And that means like almost half of the people are actually seeing some of the posts we put out. Now, that's a really good number when all things considered with Facebook. Now, going back to how the algorithm works at a high level, what you want to do is start conversations, okay? The best piece of engagement you can get on a post, whether it be in a group, on your profile, or on your page, is to start a conversation. So you need to think, are people going to engage with this post? Are they? Is this post worthy of someone commenting? One of the best things you can do for engagement on a Facebook post is actually ask, hey, I need a new show on Netflix. What do you all recommend? That post will probably get you 30 plus comments easily. Now, why? Because everyone watches Netflix and everyone has an opinion about what shows are great. So they love to tell you their favorite show that they just watched. If you're itching for some engagement on your Facebook page, then a great post to make is exactly that. I need a new show on Netflix. What do you all recommend? That will get you a lot of engagement and a lot of exposure and a lot of comments. So you always want to think about, is your post going to start a conversation? Because that's what Facebook has said is important, is starting conversations. And what happens in groups is good conversations happen all the time. So start a conversation by asking good questions, thinking about things that are going to get your people engaged. And if those people comment on your post, then that's going to give your post more and more and more exposure because of that engagement, right? You're going to get that traction. The algorithm's going to start favoring your post in the bidding war that is the Facebook and Instagram news feeds, and you're going to start getting more and more exposure on your post. And you've probably seen this when you got a post. Think about it this way. Anytime someone posts a wedding photo, right? They post an engagement photo, they post a baby photo, what happens? Well, you look at that photo and it has like 300 likes and like 70 comments and everyone's saying congratulations. Well, that's the algorithm thinking that that's a really valuable, interesting post. And you've probably experienced this. Think about it. When's the last time you saw a wedding photo or a baby photo or something like that from someone on Facebook that you actually don't closely follow and you haven't seen a post from in a while? And the only reason that you ended up seeing that post of newborn baby or a wedding or something like that was because all of the comments that post has accumulated. Facebook would not normally show you that person's post because they know you don't follow each other closely. But they've decided to show you that post because in their algorithm, it started to see more and more and more people because of that engagement. So think about that. Always think about starting a conversation. And one of the best places you can start a conversation is in a group, okay? Because Facebook's all about community. Groups are the most valuable thing on Facebook, in my opinion. Now, Zuckerberg's come out and said, like I said, exactly that as well. So start a conversation and ask these questions in a group. If you're trying to promote your business, go in relevant groups or start your own group and start a conversation because your posts will get more exposure in a group than almost anywhere else. If you actually make the same post on your business page and you make the same post in a group that has a decent amount of people, the post in your group will get far more exposure right off the bat because Facebook's prioritizing actively groups. So that's hack number one, is start a conversation and do it in a group, okay? Utilize groups to your advantage because they're a great resource on Facebook and they're one of the reasons people still use Facebook today. Hack number two, avoid using links whenever you can and use more video instead. What do I mean by this? Well, as we say, why it's important to understand how the algorithm works at a fundamental level. Facebook wants to keep people on the platform. So if you actually don't put a link in your post, linking somewhere else to some other website, the algorithm will favor your post over other posts that do use links because they want to keep people on the platform, right? They also have come out and said that they're moving towards favoring video, and they've been doing this for a couple years now. So utilizing video and not having a link in your post together will get you a ton of exposure on Facebook. Because the reality is, organic reach on Facebook just isn't really there for a lot of people anymore. Unless you're in a group or you're using video or lives and you're not using links, these are some of the ways you need to utilize to actually get exposure these days. Because otherwise, you're just not going to get the organic reach that you used to be able to. You have to spend money on ads instead. So when people go live on Facebook, people get notified of that, especially when you go live in a group. I notice when I go live in my group, I get an immediate ton of viewers because they all get notified. Eric B. Preston just went live in a group and they all click on it and they go to that live right away. So use video because it gets you more exposure and avoid using links in your content whenever you can. those two things alone will get your posts a lot more exposure. So one of the best things you can do is do a Facebook Live in a group, or post a video in Facebook in a group, and you will get a ton of exposure on that content. You know, like I said, we have about 1,800 people in our group, and when I put out a video like that, I'll often get like 700-800 post reach on that post, which is a very good number, by the way. Considering there's 1,800 people in there, I'm almost hitting about half for one post. So that's a great number, and you want to utilize that for yourself, because if you're posting like links to a YouTube channel on a Facebook business page, you're just not going to get that much exposure. Unfortunately, these days, I've tried it over and over again. It just doesn't work. Hack number 3 is use your profile. A lot of people are obsessed with using their Facebook business page. Now, your business page is where you run all your ads. It's where you collect your reviews. Your business page is where you get likes and follows. It's social proof. That's all it is. Honestly, that is all your Facebook business page is for the most part for most people these days. Unless you have a significant amount of followers, you're not going to get a huge amount of exposure on your Facebook business page. You're just not. So utilize your Facebook profile. Now, let me give you an example. When I invite someone into my group, I usually invite them as a friend, because what happens when you're friends with someone on Facebook and you post in a group, sometimes if they follow you close enough, they will actually get notified that you made a post in that group in their notification center. So they'll click into that and they'll see your post more often. Now, that's because you guys are friends. Now, Facebook will actually prioritize posts from people that are your friends over people that are your followers. One of the reasons I get a lot of exposure in my group is because I'm friends with like 70% of the people in my group on Facebook. So for that reason, my posts get a lot more exposure to them. So utilize your profile a little bit more, because on your profile, it's really easy to message people. Your post exposure is a lot higher. So if you made the exact same post on your Facebook business page and on your Facebook profile, and you had the same amount of friends on one and same amount of followers on the other, you're gonna get more post exposure on your Facebook profile, okay? So utilize your profile when you can. It's okay to use your profile if you're comfortable with it, to network, to add friends, to post to groups. You still wanna have your business page there because that's social proof. When people go to your profile, they can't see your reviews, they can't see your phone number or your information like that, your business website, your email, all that stuff. So your business page still has a place and you should still utilize it. But if you use your Facebook profile, then you will actually get a lot more exposure on all of your posts and all that kind of stuff. So hack number 3 is actually just use your Facebook profile a little bit more as opposed to your Facebook business page. So those are my hacks for the Facebook algorithm in 2021. Utilize them to get your posts a significantly more amount of exposure, because the reality is, like I said, the organic reach on Facebook just isn't there unless you utilize things like groups and video and lives. Then you can actually get quite a bit of traction on groups, and always make sure you're starting a conversation, because the more comments you get on a post, the more exposure that post is going to get every single time without fail. So I'll say it again. If you're a real estate agent, drop a comment below if you want a copy of my Facebook listing ad guide. This is a guide you can use to post a listing on Facebook or to run an ad on Facebook for a listing. I honestly think that Google Ads is the best place to generate leads on the internet today, especially in real estate, because people are actively already in Google searching for homes for sale in your specific area, right? And Facebook is a great place to have your social proof, so your Facebook business profile, your reviews, all that kind of stuff. And it's a great place to promote your listings, because you can get a lot of exposure for a little bit of money running a Facebook ad, and you can show that to your client and say, hey, look how much exposure we've got your listing. It's a great way to fill your open houses, but it's not the best way to generate leads at a raw state like Google Ads. As always, thanks for watching, everyone. Smash that like button if you like this video. Hit the dislike button if you didn't. Any feedback helps me create better content for you at the end of the day. I would love it if you subscribe to my channel, and if you hit that little bell there, you'll be the first to know when I drop new videos. You'll get a little notification on YouTube, actually. So be sure to leave any comments if you have any questions, or if you want a copy of my listing ad guide. I'm gonna leave you here with 2 videos. I would recommend checking out this one on Google Ads. It's a long one, but it's a great video if you're looking to get into online lead generation for your business. Google Ads, Google Search Ads is one of the best places you can do it in 2021. And the reason is you're putting ads in front of people when they're already searching for something. It is a search market versus Facebook, which is an interruption market. You're trying to stop people in their tracks and get them to pay attention to whatever it is you're selling. Whereas Google, they're already searching for it. You're just giving them exactly what they want, so you're not interrupting them at all. It's a great place to advertise, so check that video out, and I will see you guys in the next video.